On Valentine's Day 1998, less than a full month into my new gig as the automotive critic for the local CBS affiliate, I was testing my first ever GMC Yukon. And with my girlfriend in the passenger seat, I thought I'd show off a little bit and drive us down this unplowed, seasonal use road that had to be at least thigh deep in snow. Well, about 4 hours, 2 tow trucks, and a bruised ego later, we were finally back home warming up, watching the NBA All-Star game, if I remember correctly. But that's had me thinking this week. If AT4 had been around back then, would that have ever happened at all?
I'll cut to the chase. It probably would have, because I was a noob to off-roading back then, but I imagine I would have had a better chance of not rolling it on its side, because the AT4's got stuff to help plow through winter.
Denali is to the city as AT4 is to the wilderness. It's another GMC sub-brand that's being spread throughout their entire lineup. And here on the Yukon, it includes all-terrain tires, skid plates, an off-road friendly front fascia, an off-road driving mode, hill descent control, and of course, four-wheel drive with an auto setting and low range. Now couple those attributes with the optional air suspension with an extra 2 inches of lift, and an electronic limited slip differential in the rear, and this Yukon will cut through this snow like a hot knife through butter.
I really like the unique, more rugged look of this Yukon, which is also available in XL if your young ones need more third-row legroom and an extra 15 cubic feet of sports gear space. So why choose AT4 over the other trims? Well, you either want the all-terrain look, or you actually desire all of these features that'll bring some added confidence when adventure calls. I've been having a blast taking it on the snowy trails and have yet to need the red recovery hooks. Pricing starts at around $66,000, and when you load it to the roof with all kinds of goodies, including the optional panoramic, you end up here at $75,960. Talk about profit margin.
I've driven all of the new GM SUVs at this point, but this is the first one I've had that's come fitted with the standard 5.3-liter V8. Now, don't worry about it not being enough, because it is. And with it, even this one will net 20 mpg on the highway. Now, as I've stated during my previous tests, this new platform is a huge leap forward in terms of drivability, packaging, and ride comfort. It is polished and quiet, even riding atop these 20-inch all-terrain tires. And I'll levy the same complaints here as I have against the Tahoe and Suburban. This cabin just doesn't match the price tag.
After waiting this long for a redesign, the interior is definitely disappointing, but it's highly functional, very comfortable throughout, and packs some neat tech. But I don't like this gap setting button on the wheel. It can trick you, like it did me initially, into thinking the Yukon's going to keep a safe distance between you and the vehicle in front. It doesn't. That's reserved for Denali. One of the options I would highly encourage, and one I've neglected to show you in my previous vids, is really quite cool. Priced at $350, it's a power sliding center console with expanded storage. I only wish that the switches for it were down here and not overhead. Other things I would tweak include adding radio control to the rear seat media system, which does offer those in the second row access to the navigation system. One-touch access to the very large third row would be nice, as opposed to having to flip things twice. And with the air suspension, a switch in the cargo area to lower the body would be helpful. Now, with the AT4, the 6.2 V8 and diesel engines are off the table, but you still get the smooth shifting 10-speed auto and an impeccable ride quality, thanks in part to the magnetic ride control shocks and the new independent rear suspension. GM has always been great at making these huge SUVs drive small, and this is certainly the case here. 355 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque on regular unleaded yields a healthy 432-mile driving range and max towing of 8,200 pounds, best the 6.2. Gas mileage checks in at 18 mpg on regular. And this one has the pro-grade trailering system, so there are all sorts of assistive features built in to do that safely and confidently. My favorite features include the power retractable side steps with perimeter lighting, the multicolor head-up display, wireless phone projection, and heated second row seats with separate climate controls. I also appreciate the surround view camera, though I wish the activation button was off the touchscreen. With the traction select system and wheel-specific four-wheel drive, the Yukon AT4 feels like the beast you expect it to be, but with the polish of a luxury SUV on-road. AT4 is a cool idea and will no doubt continue to bear fruit for GMC throughout their entire lineup. For TestDriveNow.com, I'm Steve Hammis.